coming to you live from the studios of WOCA Radio, just off the runway at the Ocala International Airport on a beautiful sunny day. Going to be a warm one today. I wonder, because it's August, that's why. Galen Unall joins us from Life South. He's brought to you by Palm Garden Health and Rehabilitation Center, Penn Flooring, and Just Shipped. We'd like to thank Palm Garden Health and Rehabilitation Center. They're located at 2700 Southwest 34th Street. They offer skilled nursing, physical, occupational, and speech therapy. If you have any questions about Palm Garden and how they're handling the COVID-19 pandemic, give them a call, 352-854-6262. Penn Flooring, family-owned and operated, serving the Marion County area for over 30-plus years. They owe every bit of their success to their unrivaled customer service. They're a full-service flooring company that do both commercial and residential flooring. Go see their showroom at 1201 Southwest 17th Street here in Ocala, or give them a call at 352-351-3420. And also Just Ship. They flipped the script on shipping. You don't have to do anything. You call them or reach out to them. They come pick your item up. They package it. They put it in the box. They go stand in line at the post office or at the UPS store. They do all the legwork for you. All you do is pay a small pickup fee plus the postage. JustShip.net is where you go find out more information. Galen, good morning.
Hey, what's going on, Tom? How are you today?
Good. I just got I was trying to get everything ready for the radio and trying to watch the Ocala Business Leaders live feed of the mayoral forum question and answer. And by the way, some pretty tough questions asked by the Ocala Business Leaders today. I was kind of impressed with some of the questions.
Well, good. I think I think there's a stark difference between the two, which is good. You know, I mean, you can really see the difference between their two approaches. So let's let the people decide what direction Ocala wants to go in.
There was questions about support for non-American groups, and there were questions about possible Ku Klux Klan involvement. It was they asked some tough questions.
Well, you knew that was coming out in this race.
You
right?
knew it had to. It had to.
Well, you know, and I think you and I joked off the air about it one day, that it's the only way one of the candidates can win. It is the only way that one of the candidates can win, and I'll just leave it at that.
Yes, I agree with you completely. They both differ. They both say they support the first responders and the police. But by the way, if you're running for office,
I'm not sure that's true.
Well, I'm going to tell you what afterwards in a minute. You know, obviously everybody running is going to say they support the police and first responders, because who doesn't want good police and first responders? Although the two mayoral candidates, one is wants to keep the status quo the way it is in support of the police and first responders, and the other candidate wants to evaluate whether it's the right approach or not, and if there are other more social and civil approaches to policing.
Exactly. One doesn't necessarily believe that every police officer should carry a gun.
No, and one thinks that there's a disconnect between the police and the community, while another thinks that their community and the police are in great shape together. So it's all in how you see it. I personally think, but I was very good friends with the late Chief Greg Graham. I'm good friends with Chief Balkin, and I think that they're doing a great job with how they communicate with the business and community leaders throughout the city. And I think there is a open door policy with the police. And I think we, because of that, we're a unique city where we don't have the same, the disinformation and the angst between the community and the police. I firmly believe it's because of the leadership of the late Greg Graham and now the leadership of Mike Balkin that's the situation we have, where the police and the community are not at odds with each other. I think that they work in harmony right now.
Yeah, and you know, one of the key points to that is our police officers live in our neighborhoods.
Yes.
Right? You know, I mean, it's not like they're policing a community that they have no ties to. So I think that's huge. And did they? I was curious about that. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that stream, because there's a couple of things I want to see if they brought up. So did they talk about police in schools at all? I know that's more of a school board thing.
They did not talk about SROs that I recall. No.
Okay.
But
yeah, because I know that's I don't even know if that's controlled by the mayor or if that's controlled by the school.
well,
board.
the school board has to pay for the sheriff's department, SROs, pay the sheriff's department for them, and they have to pay the city police, the city of Ocala police, for the SROs in the school. The school board pays for them, but they get assigned by the different police organizations. So.
Right.
And I know I know
and
one of the candidates for mayor would like to see SROs in, clothes that aren't police uniform because they don't want the militaristic thoughts in front of the children.
Right, and no guns either.
What's the best way to stop somebody that's an active shooter on a campus? Have somebody with a gun on the campus.
Yeah, and again, this is their second public. They got one more, right?
They're tonight. They're tonight at the Marion Theater for the Ocala Gazette, Ocala Gazette Forum, District 4 and the mayor candidates, and then tomorrow night they'll be at the Marion Cultural Alliance in downtown. The District 4 and the mayor candidates will be there as well, and then. The week of the 22nd through the 27th, they will each take a turn at the table right here inside the studios at WOCA. And Galen's in
again, am I?
Well, you're not now. You're back.
I can see the tower.
You're back.
It makes no sense. I can see the tower.
I know.
But again, there's this isn't between. Like, they both have a lot of the views. No, if you're a voter,
opposite ends of the spectrum.
Gravitate to one or the other. They're not allowed to race under a political campaign label, right? It's what do they call it?
It is nonpartisan.
So, but there are night and day between these two, and again, I'm curious.
And we're speaking about. And by the way, for those that might not have just joined us, we're speaking about. The forum this morning that happened at the Ocala business leaders between incumbent Mayor Kent Gwynn and mayoral candidate Manal Fakori.
And again, I think I think we all know who will win, but I'm curious as to how many points it will be.
I'm not,
because that'll be a very, very, very clear indication as to what direction our town is going.
I will tell you this. I think, and this is just my thought, I think that more people, usually in an off-election year, which this is an off-national election cycle, usually about 8% of the vote shows up, 8 to 10% of people registered to vote show up. I think this time there's going to be quite a few more that show up because of the mayor's race, because of the way that the fire chief was fired and the city manager and the way that was handled, and some development issues that have got some people in certain areas riled up that they vote in big voting blocks. I think that'll lend to more people voting this time than we're normally used to. So I think this is going to be it's going to go a little later in the night tallying these votes than people think. Because, let's take a place that you know well, Woodland Village. If the 3 city council meetings I've been to where the Woodland Village folks came out and forced to talk about what they didn't want near their neighborhood, if they go out as a voting block like they say they will and vote 600, some of these people running for city council are in trouble.
Yeah, I do know that material is already being circulated in the neighborhood. So. The city council, there's just so many of them yet. I haven't weeded them all out yet. But it's crazy. I know who I'm not voting for in every single race. I don't know who I am voting for in every single race.
But
if that makes sense.
Do you kind of feel like that in 2021 that city government-wise we're at a crossroads that we haven't been at in a while in this city?
Yeah. Absolutely, and again, but it's all because of the mayoral race, and I think social media has a lot to do with it.
Well, I think though that a lot of the city council positions really hinge on what happened the last 2 to 3 months leading up to the elections, because I'm telling you
but
that
it was before that, right? You don't think that it had begun to change, and there had been this push to make some social.
well, there are some people.
Whether they were needed or not.
Yeah, but there are some people that are very angry. There are voters that are still very angry. Although the news cycle has switched, there are voters that are still very angry, and still it's very raw to them how the whole debacle of firing of the fire chief happened. And there are people that's their central issue. That's their central issue.
I had somebody in my neighborhood come up to me and goes, I don't know who this chief is, but it sounds like he got a raw deal. And I was like, yeah, it's true.
It's going to be interesting.
So,
hey, we need to take a break real quick. We'll be right back after this timeout. You're listening to 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
Are you or your loved one being released from a hospital and wondering how you'll manage? Inform your physician that you want to go to Palm Garden of Ocala at 2700 Southwest 34th Street for your rehabilitation. Palm Garden provides pain management, post-discharge follow-up, diabetic care, psychosocial support, and so much more. Plus, they even offer outpatient rehab. This award-winning care facility has a team of licensed professionals dedicated to enhancing your independence. Call 352-854-6262 today.
Are you wasting time boxing up packages and going to the post office or the UPS store? Are you tired of not knowing what you'll pay when you get there? Just Ship offers pickup service and flat rate packaging and postage rates, which takes the guesswork out of shipping while saving you time and money. So quit wasting valuable time and money. Call or text Just Ship at 352-234-3840. That's 352-234-3840. Just Shipped.
Now you've done it. Have you lost your mind? He's back. And you're listening again. A legend in his own mind. Don't believe me? Just ask him. Here's Tom Schmitz live on WOCA. The Source.
Welcome back to Ocala Talk on a Wednesday. And you know I'm joined just from Lifestyle every day, brought to you by the good folks at Penn Flooring, Palm Garden Health and Rehabilitation Center, and Just Shipped. Galen, I just slipped my mind what I was talking to you about before we went to break. Hey, let's take a call real quick.
The mayoral race.
Let's take a call real quick. Good morning. You're on with Galen and Tom.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning. I'm going to preface this by saying that I do not live in the city, so I have no vote. But I would like to mention that I happen to know that one of the Fakori family has a carry permit. Just thought you would want to know that. And I'll ring off. Have a good day.
Thank you. Well, they are U.S. citizens, and under the Constitution, the Second Amendment.
What did he say?
He has a carry permit.
Oh,
And as
allowed
an American citizen, that's your second the Bill of Rights. That's your second right under the Constitution. You know, last night I asked a trivia question about what's the Sixth Amendment to the Bill what's the Sixth Amendment to the U.S. Constitution?
Yeah.
Not a single team got it right. And it's just, it's not that important. It's just it's a trial by a jury trial by your peers. That's all.
Yeah.
It's not that important. You know what I mean? It's not really that important.
I almost said Miranda rights. But
That's fifth. That's the Fifth Amendment. Yeah. No, the Miranda's Fifth Amendment. So
that's right. Okay.
Miranda came in 1969, but it fell under the Fifth Amendment.
That's fair.
Yeah. So, here's the thing. This election cycle is shaping up because of how many. First off, it's unprecedented that there's 3 regular council seats plus a special election for a 4th council plus the mayor's race. I looked. never in the history of kept records of the Ocala City Council, never in its existence, has there ever been where the senior council member has less than a year under their belt.
Well,
and that could happen this time. If the
Sure.
two incumbents lose and the mayor loses, Irie Bethea, who was just elected last year, will be the senior member of the council with less than a year experience.
Yeah.
That's never happened before in Ocala, ever, in 170 years.
And there's so many candidates. Usually they run unopposed. You know, it would have been interesting if things would have happened different. How many of the two that are going for re-election would have run unopposed?
If Sandra, I firmly believe if Sandra Wilson gets a no confidence vote and gets fired, at least one of the incumbents doesn't have a challenger.
Yeah, Jay Musley, I agree with you 100%. I'm surprised that this all happened. So,
and
very
by the way, social media playing a huge role in this. And how I know this is, I got a phone call from somebody yesterday. Goes, can you believe that somebody has went and has looked on my social media from 12 to 15 years ago, from 2008, 2009, and is reporting stuff from my social media back then?
Yes.
And I go, yeah.
Yes.
And the fact that you can't believe it brings some doubt in my mind that you should be running for office.
Well, you know, depending on your age, and I mean, they're looking back and finding what kids wrote.
They're finding out they're finding out what professional baseball players wrote on their social media when they were 12 years old.
Yeah, well, so my son went to this one of these college camp things, and he's like, Dad, they basically said before you do any of your applications, just to delete your entire social media history. I'm like, yeah, son, that's not a bad idea. And he goes, oh, okay, well, I only use Snapchat. I'm like, yep. And he uses Twitter for basketball recruiting, and he hasn't been on that in a year. So,
well,
at least the next generation is much smarter about this.
Somebody about 3 or 4 months ago, sent me an email and said, hey, just wanted you to know we were combing through your social media, and you're pretty much the same guy regardless, huh? And I go, yeah. And thanks for searching through my social media. I appreciate you looking into it. And it was somebody who I knew didn't want me to be back on the radio. I know who the person is.
Oh, really?
And they went through all my social media from 2009 to the present, because that's all I got. That's when I joined Facebook and all. And they literally, I was surprised that they sent me a nice note going, you know, you're the same person now that you were in 2009. Your attitudes are the same. Your opinions are the same. I go, yeah, you pretty much get what you get with me. There's no fake here. There's no microphone persona versus off the microphone persona. I'm the same big dumb meathead trying to pay my double wide payment. That's all I am.
Right. That's right. That's all we all. That, by the way, that's what we can all.
I was recently referred to by. I was recently referred to by somebody that's involved with one of the candidates. I was recently referred to as a big dumb meathead. Why should we worry about him?
That's fair. I mean,
I can't argue with that.
They have the right to think about that.
I can't argue with that.
I think they're underestimating how big your neck is.
Well, yeah, just because I'm got a big meathead, I probably store some sort of intelligence in my neck. I'll be honest with you.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I got a lot of storage.
But it gets all kinds of blood flow from the neck.
I got all kind of storage. Yeah. You know, I should have been. If I come with a side of mashed potatoes and a biscuit, I could be a Church's chicken snack pack, because I got 1, 2, 3 thighs.
All day long.
I got 3 thighs. Easy.
All day long.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty funny. Hey, and I think the people who listen to this show and listen to this segment are pretty into local politics and what goes on locally, because it's the only local talk show in Marion County. So.
And I was told
we tried to be funny and entertaining, except when you upset me with Dinger.
I was told.
Man, that bothered me all day, by the way.
You let things stay with you too long, Galen. That's your problem.
No, that was very, very rarely, and I'm like, all I can think about is this where we're going as a society?
Well, it is. That's the problem.
Our election is going. Oh, that's a pretty car. And that's our election's going to decide what direction our city goes in.
100%.
So
we're the
what's
crossroads.
next? We're not gonna prosecute shoplifting.
We're at a crossroads in this.
And by the way, that's the next. That's on the table, right? Not prosecuting petty crimes, not arresting.
Oh no, we just give them a citation to show up. Just write them a ticket, show up in court.
Or don't even bother. And now we're San Francisco. That is on the table.
Although I will tell you that one of my stories I was going to talk about today, and I'm going to talk about it later in the show, but you will like this. There is a conviction, 9 years, for a man who set fire to a cell phone store during the riots in the aftermath of the killing of George Floyd.
Good.
9-year prison sentence.
Good.
So I'll talk about that later in the show. Good. But that needs to happen more. The people that burnt down the people that burnt down the police precinct in Portland need to be held accountable.
Well, they're still rioting, by the way. It's Portland. They riot every day.
Yeah.
But I was going through all that. I understood the being upset. I think anybody who watched that video, you felt a visceral reaction to it. You watched a man die. But there is a wide gap between protesting and rioting. And I know there are people in the media who are making that very small. And I'm like, no, it's very clear. I just follow the greatest protester of all time, Jesus Christ, and the second greatest was Martin Luther King. And then
Gandhi's in there, and Mandela's in there, and none of them burnt down anything. None of them destroyed anything.
It was never about
Now you've done it. Have you lost your mind? He's back. And you're listening again. A legend in his own mind. Don't believe me? Just ask him. Here's Tom Schmitz live on WOCA. The Source.
Broadcasting from the Ocala International Airport, this is WOCA AM, W242CA FM, Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
It's time for Farm and Range headlines on the South.